Hey guys, what's going on? Ultimus here. Today's video I wanted to talk a bit about something that might have been slightly expected. I wanted to talk about the Warlords of Draenor launch and a bunch of the stuff that's been going on over the course of the weekend since Thursday. The footage playing in the background is the footage I was able to capture through my first impressions and experiences trying to get into Draenor and just kind of enjoy the content on night of launch. As expected, it was very laggy. I mean, it was a typical server lag fest. It was a typical launch night for an expansion, especially for an expansion like this that was definitely hyped up. People were so excited for this expansion, they were stoked out of their minds. But I want to talk a bit about some of the overall disappointment that's been coming through. This might be a bit lengthy, so please bear with me. If you stick with me through the whole video, props and kudos to you. I think you're awesome. I will say right now that this is expressly my opinion, and you are obviously more than welcome to disagree with my opinion on the matter. That is completely okay, and I'm alright with that. I welcome that. Diversity is a beautiful thing, I suppose. But please do keep in mind that I'm simply expressing my opinion on the matter, and I know it may not be a very popular opinion. Just based on what I've seen, so we'll see if this is one of those silent majority type things and whatnot. So, with that out of the way, I can honestly say that while I'm a little bit nervous to make this video, I want to make this video because I feel like as a part of this community, not that I feel entitled or like I have a right to speak up, but I want to because this is a community and something that I care very much about. And I want to see it do well, and I want to see it have a great reputation, and I want to see it thrive. I just wanted to talk a bit about, of course, the insane amount of lag and basically unplayability of the servers. On average, I would sit and wait in queue to even just get onto my server for at least 6 hours if I was lucky. At one point, I believe it was Friday. I want to say it was Friday night. I sat in queue just to get on Darkspear from noon that day until 11 o'clock that night, and I finally got on. As of right now, I am just barely level 93, and it's been a blast so far, don't get me wrong, but it has been hard to get on servers, and even now after all the restarts and all the updates and upgrades have all rolled out, there's still a bit of a queue time. And what I wanted to talk about, and that may not be necessarily a popular opinion, is obviously I'm extremely disappointed that I haven't been able to play this game as much as I wanted to. I've been looking forward to this expansion just with much excitement. I was stoked out of my mind to play this expansion. I had my plans all set up. I was like, this is how I'm going to level. This is what I'm going to do first. You know, I was all set for this, and then of course it's always a bummer when you can't even play, you know. And I know there's an overarching feeling of disappointment and definitely anger and being upset in the community as a whole, and that's completely understandable. You know, we all pay our 15 bucks a month. We want to be able to play. We all bought the game. We want to be able to play. And so I'm not trying to discredit any disappointment here, but I think overall my biggest disappointment is in the WoW community as a whole. Over the past week, Blizzard has really been pumping up this expansion and pumping up Warcraft as a whole, the beautiful thing this community is. Was able to watch the documentary a couple times, and I really did enjoy just their emphasis on what a wonderful community this is, and I will honestly attest to that. Being able to hang out at the 10-year anniversary party just with a bunch of other people that all just love the same stuff, interacting with and just enjoying the free content that so many YouTubers and streamers will make, and you know, even myself trying to kind of make my way and invite myself into this community, I suppose, is, you know, it's a cool and it's an awesome thing. You know, the fact that I've made some of my best friends over World of Warcraft. I've gotten some of my best friends who previously used to make fun of me for playing World of Warcraft into World of Warcraft. It's an awesome thing. But the overall hate, and I think just disdain that the majority of players, and I know not all players are like this, so please, if you're the type of player who has been patient and you're just like, you know what, I trust Blizz, I know they're doing their best, then kudos to you. Kudos to you. I'm right there with you. I honestly am. I've been rooting for, and I will defend Blizz probably until the day I die. I mean, unless they royally screw up, and I'm not here to try to say that Blizzard can do no wrong in my eyes, because they've made some big mistakes. Diablo 3 auction house, can I just throw that out there, right? Okay, sweet. Luckily, again, but I feel like that's even a classic example too, because they realized they made a mistake, and they fixed it. They corrected it. And that took a lot of balls on their part, as far as I'm concerned, to swallow their pride and realize we made a mistake, let's fix it. And so I feel like in a time like this, when the community was so hyped and so primed and ready, and it was just kind of showing its true colors in a sense of what it could be. And that was excellent. It had an opportunity to show itself to be excellent, not only to one another, but to their devs and to the community managers and to the people that are doing their best to hold down the fort. You know, I feel like the WoW community has definitely dropped the ball on this part. From the owner, which is another controversial topic in and of itself, I know, or I guess the moderator, owner, whatever he is, of the WoW subreddit, closing it down because he couldn't get on to play WoW. I mean, I'm not here to throw dirt around or anything like that, but just that in of itself is like, really? Like, just because you couldn't get on? Like, I haven't been able to get on all day either. I mean, I think I've been able to play a total of maybe 5, 6, maybe 10 hours pushing it of the expansion since just come out on Thursday. I mean, really, if we were looking at a normal expansion launch, a lot of us would be level 100 already. But because of the nature of what's been going on with the DDoS attacks and things like that, it's definitely set things back. But it's definitely a disappointment, I think, to see so many people all of a sudden, things don't go the way they plan, and all of a sudden they turn and they start sinking their teeth into Blizzard. And the reason I'm defending them, because the reality is I think so many of us forget that you don't know, or we don't know what it's like to be game developers. I think the only thing that we can honestly justifiably hold Blizzard accountable for is if they had the hardware, the ability to update and upgrade their server capacity previously, why didn't they? But you know, that's neither here nor there now. They've updated their server capacities, they're doing their best they can with that, and you know, it's over now as far as updating server caps, and they've been rolling those restarts and updating all those things slowly as they go on. You know, and they can only do so much against a DDoS attack. And yeah, you can ban the IP, but then if it's multiple IPs and if it's a group like that, it's just going to keep coming and coming. And so I just feel like if there's anything we can hold Blizzard accountable for in this sense, it's if you had the ability to update your servers like that previously, why didn't you? I was actually having a really good conversation with my buddy Ruske over this, you know, because really, I mean, it's not really like they're going to lose out on anything, because if they update their servers, you know, it's more of an investment on their end, and I totally agree with that. I mean, they're not going to lose anything, because they can always switch those servers around and, you know, the hardware and stuff like that, and they can put it toward other games and things like that, and I don't want to get into all the technical side of stuff. You know, we had an opportunity, I think, just to show Blizz that we have faith in them, and I feel like for the most part, the majority of the community really dropped the ball. I don't know if you guys follow any of the devs or any of the community managers like Laura Bashiok, any of those guys on Twitter and stuff like that, but they were at the offices all weekend taking shifts trying to get this sorted out. They were constantly tweeting back and forth at people. You know, they obviously felt horrible. They were just as excited about this game as you and I are, and if not more, because this is their baby, this is their project, and this was supposed to be, and if not is actually, their biggest expansion yet. And dare I say, this has been their best expansion since Burning Crusade once you actually get into the content. You know, they're hurting for this too. Obviously, yeah, there's the money thing involved. They're aware of that. They're a business. They're running a business, and they have to be smart with their money. They're not dumb. But at the same time, you got to realize, like, a lot of these guys, they love this game just as much, if not more, than we do, because this is their baby. This is something they created, and they're in charge of the destiny and the direction that this thing goes. And I feel like we would be doing Blizzard a great service by just continuing to have a little faith in them, knowing that they are doing the best that they can. You know, they're not doing dumb business, obviously. You know, the amount of money that they rake in, they know what they're doing. And if you've gotten a chance to experience the content in this expansion, you know for a fact they know what they're doing, because once you get to the content, it is a ton of fun. Garrisons are a blast. Questing is amazing. I have not queued for one single dungeon since I've been in Draenor. The questing is smooth, with like big rewards at the end, with cool cutscenes, or every like quest line kind of having an epic conclusion to where you don't feel like you're pointlessly gathering things. You actually feel like you're building up to stuff. With all these cool lore characters placed in and out throughout this story, intertwined so well that if you know these characters, you'd be like, oh, that's that guy, and that's this guy, and he later turns into this guy, and this is this guy's son, or things like that. There's so many cool details in here. You know, everything from now, all of a sudden, you're questing, and all of a sudden, when you're turning in a quest, your loot has a chance, or your reward has a chance to be upgraded to a blue or an epic. That's legit. That is awesome. That is incentive to keep questing right there. Because you know what? That ring might just be an epic upgrade. You know, with Garrisons, having the missions, being able to send your followers out, that reminds me and takes me back to one of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy Tactics. Man, sending those followers out on missions, that is an awesome bit to have there, where you have this garrison that is your base of operations, and you get to go hang out, giving you access to all types of professions, even if they're not two you specialize in. Just everything about this right now has been so great. I wasn't even sure how I'd feel about not having flying mounts, but now that I'm here only using a ground mount, I really don't mind it. because I'm seeing the land. I keep, every time I go into a new zone now, I'm just enthralled by how gorgeous this music and this environment is. You know, Blizzard has put out a prime game at this point, a prime expansion. I mean, we'll see what everything pans out to at level 100 when we get, you know, knees deep into the PvP season, but as of right now, this is a dang good expansion. And I feel like I, for one at least, and I know I can only speak for myself, you know, I'm going to continue to give Blizzard my patience and my support. I know they'll get through it. I know they'll pull through it. And I want to be right there with them, being able to say, yeah, you know what, these are my boys. This is a company that I love. This is a game I love. This is a game I invested in. This is a community that I am a part of. And I am not, for the life of me, going to breed negativity. Absolutely not. I can't do it. So, with that being said, if you agree with me, awesome. Give this video a like. Give it a share. Let's see if we can spread it around. If you disagree with me, again, that's completely okay. I respect your point of view, but that's just how I feel about it. And I feel like I feel like this is the least I can do to give back to Blizzard. I hope you guys continue to, you know, have faith in Blizz and continue to look forward to the rest of this expansion as we're finally able to move out of these long queues and things like that and move towards the actual content. I'm loving it. I am having a blast with it. I can't wait to get my warrior to max level and start getting down and dirty with some gladiator stance warrior there. Oh man, I can't wait. So anyways guys, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you give it a like and a share, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.